Today we are making some nacho cheese and Cool Ranch Doritos, but all vegan of course. And these were one of my favorite snacks, and I'm happy to say that these hit all the cheesy notes of the originals and then some. And in order to hit those cheesy notes, I recommend a few ingredients that might be uncommon to you but will vastly improve any vegan cheese dish you are making. First up is lactic acid. I use this quite often. It imparts a very distinct sour tang that you just can't get from our next ingredient, nutritional yeast, which is also pretty essential for a more umami cheesy flavor and is also required by vegan law, so don't skip it. And then last but not least is Sazón seasoning, which will give us an even more umami flavor as well as a bit of that nuclear orange color we all know and love. There's also this stuff which should work, and even annatto, though the annatto will just provide color as it's fairly mild tasting. Either way, I'll leave links for more info on these in the description. And now for the nacho cheese dust, let's start with 6 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, 3 tablespoons of the Sazón seasoning, and now I added 1 tablespoon of lactic acid, and that was probably too much, so I'd say start with half a tablespoon or even 1 teaspoon and then add more to taste. And the next is 1 teaspoon each of garlic and onion powder, and then smoked paprika, and then half a teaspoon of salt or more to taste. And we're going to whisk that up and then realize that the NutriFlakes are way too big, so we'll blend that up into a finer powder. And there you go, that's your nacho cheese dust, and this stuff is super dang good. I could eat it with the spoon, but I'll show restraint and save it for the chips. And then next for the Cool Ranch seasoning, I'll start with 1 tablespoon of lactic acid, which again, same note as the nacho cheese, use less and adjust to your taste. And then again, 1 teaspoon each of garlic and onion powder. And I'm also throwing in 1 teaspoon of MSG in there. Yep, since MSG is in the Doritos, it's in our homemade one as well. Skip it if you don't want to use it. But next is 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast, 1 teaspoon each of smoked paprika, dried chives, dried parsley, and dried dill. And then I remembered I had some soy milk powder, and I thought, in an homage to the annoying milk powder that makes so many chips non-vegan, why not add some of this? I don't think it really added anything flavor-wise, so just like the non-vegan version, it's pretty useless. After that, let's do a half teaspoon of salt and then a few cranks of black pepper. Blend that up as well, and then I highly recommend getting some seasoning shakers for both of these. Not only will it make the task of coating the chips easier, but you'll have somewhere to store any extras, which you can use just about anywhere you want to add a cheesy blast of flavor. And now the chips themselves, I'm just going to use some store-bought corn tortillas. I'm going to slice them in half, and then in quarters, and then in eighths. So each tortilla will give you 8 chips. After that, let's get a wide, deep skillet and fill it up with about 1.5 inches of a neutral oil with a high smoke point. Get that oil up to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and then add as many chips as you can without them overlapping too much. And these fry up super quick, I'd say within 2 minutes or less. Flip them as needed, and then once they aren't bubbling too much, that means they are done. So let's add them to a wire rack, space them out so they are close but not overlapping, and then liberally shower them with that cheese dust. Go ahead and flip them over and give them a cheese dust shower on the other side as well. Should look something like that. Go ahead and test one, and then test another, and then another, and then if you're like me, you'll probably eat the entire first batch in the name of recipe testing. And for the Cool Ranch, it's exactly the same. Just give them a Cool Ranch shower, and that's basically it. You are now the proud owner of some vegan nacho cheese and Cool Ranch chips. Now I have to say that these are great on their own, but my teenage self would often elevate a simple turkey and cheese sandwich with some of these, so that's what I'm recreating here. And don't knock it till you try it. The crunch of the chips contrasts perfectly with everything else in the sandwich. The only thing I was missing here was a Mountain Dew and some Mr. Show. But if you want to be more adult about it, you can also make a cheese sauce and give them a good old chip and dip if you really want to have a cheese overload. Or if you really want to go full tilt boogie, douse them in said cheese sauce for some Doritos nachos. Either way, these are great on their own or in a dish, and certainly would be great for a sports game or a party. And if you want to make something else, you can make a Doritos Locos Taco too, or if you want to know how I made that cheese sauce, click on this other link for my Taco Bell potatoes video. If you do make them, let me know how it goes. I hope you're all doing great, and I'll see you next time.